G'day guys, Gus here. I'm in Burcea in Romania, up in the Carpathian Mountains. We're getting set for our Transylvania Expedition, which kicks off this weekend. I've just completed the recon of our expedition route over the past few days, and it's looking amazing out there. It's a super diverse route, lots of climbing, lots of forest, lots of open valleys, plains. It's like stepping into a time machine and going back a few hundred years. It really is a spectacular part of the world, and yeah, we're looking forward to taking the touring Ursus through here for an awesome expedition. We're here to do a bike check. We're here to talk about Big Kev. This is the expedition vehicle, the company car that I use all throughout the year, all across the world, leading and guiding all of our expeditions that we do. So I guess to tell you a little bit about what Big Kev is and what he's really designed for, Big Kev is what we call Gravel Plus. It's a step above our flagship Kevin gravel bike. There's a few key characteristics that make this different to the Kevin. Namely, it's really designed for dedicated, heavy-duty off-road bikepacking, long-distance riding, where you want a wider tire clearance, a longer wheelbase, more stability, so you can carry a bit more load and you can move at a bit more speed with a bit more comfort off-road on really rough technical terrain. That's really where Big Kev comes into its own, and that's really why I choose it as the company car. There's a few key or special things that make this Big Kev what it is. You can see I've got it kitted out at the moment in what I sort of call expedition mode. So there's a few bags and bits and bobs on here which are full of the essentials that I'll take on an expedition. So I'm going to take you through. Out the front, I've got a Garmin head unit device which has got satellite tracking, satellite messaging on it, obviously super helpful. Also up front in the cockpit is the quad lock, where I can keep the phone handy, visible. Having the phone up front is super helpful for me. During the expedition, I'm constantly checking the maps on the phone, speaking with suppliers, hotels, restaurants, etc., making sure that all of our bookings, all of our logistics are all sorted, all organized. So the quad lock is super helpful to have up the front. This little grey bag here is actually an AK-47 ammo stash bag. So it folds right up when I don't need it, but then it expands out. So I can carry quite a lot of food. This is where I normally carry snacks. At the moment, there's some quick mix porridge in there. I've also got a good amount of chamois cream in here. This has got to last me through Transylvania and Mongolia. So that's staying in there at the moment. A light exposure Diablo light up here, which I've had for a very long time. Super amazing product. Baby sunscreen, this is the good stuff, that's what you want. That sits up here. This little bag I sometimes use for water if I need to carry an extra litre. Little things like sunscreen. I've also got in here at the moment an Apogera fold-up backpack. These things are really good if you've ever used one. Coming into the main triangle of the frame, we've got the top tube bag. So in here I've got a set of AirPods, little things like medication. I've got in here my Opinel knife, which is all obviously usually coming in handy. Bits of medication in here, paracetamol, backup headphones. Hidden in my top tube bag here is this little number. Now, I'm sure you've heard of a Kinder Surprise before. This is the little capsule which your toy sits in when you get a Kinder Surprise. But I use this to keep some spare things like hair ties, rubber straps off Garmins and things like that. Hair ties are really good for just keeping things like all sorts of things together. Headphones, medication, toiletries, whatever, bundling them up. So that sits in there as a bit of a backup. The tail fin top tube bag, this is where you got all sorts of things. Chain lube, absolute essential. This is an old Romanian bed sheet which was being thrown out, which is now my chain rag. Pretty good. Lezine micro floor drive pump. These things are really good. You can inflate a big tire like this, no problem at all. More sunscreen. And then there's also a power bank. This is a 20,000 milliamp. So this gets me through probably almost the entire expedition, charging the phone, Garmin, things like that. These things are really good. They're waterproof. On the other side, I've got a couple of other things in here. Spare battery, my normal axle, disc brake spreader, all compartmentalized in here really nicely. I guess the big thing out the back is the tail pooch. This is pretty essential when it comes to expedition riding. This is where I keep all of my rain gear. Rain jacket in here, okay. Going a bit further in, this is a bit of a combo package in here. In here we've got rain pants, okay, full length rain pants held together with a hair tie. Waterproof socks, okay, these things are amazing how well they do. And then the dishwashing gloves. If you want something to actually keep your hands dry, this is what you want. So these sit in here, waterproof in the rocket pooch. In the bottom compartment here, I have a couple of other little things. These aren't necessarily expedition bits, but they're pretty handy. Lock heavy duty chain. When I'm traveling, moving all over the world, that thing's pretty handy to have. And here's a little tape measure, which is also very handy. I guess 2 liters of water down in the main triangle. And then this tool canister here, I really love this thing. This is a Zefal tool canister. This is just really, really neat in that it can carry pretty much all of my tools, sits neatly under the top tube. It doesn't matter if it gets dirty, it's all waterproof. But in here, okay, you can screw the lid off. This is a ratchet multi-tool with all of the bits that I need for this bike. Dynaplug with some spare plugs in the back. I won't pull it all out, but you can sort of see in there I've got spare sealant, a spare tube, chain tool, chain pliers, spare valves, spare valve core, zip ties, tie boot kit, tie lever as well, all shoved in there. Yeah, so that's a really, really cool and neat way just to carry the tools. It's always on the bike, you never forget them, you're never in trouble. There's a couple of other little bits on the bike that I guess make it special. A rear light as well, which is always handy. On the front of the fork here, okay, these things, you may recognize them. These are from Tailfin also. So they're the mounts for the fork packs. So when I'm doing the recon and I've got to carry some spare clothes and stuff like that, toiletries, I'll sort of stick them on there. Again, works super well, super good product. Also on the back, the Tailfin axle is currently in there, where when I'm doing longer trips and traveling, the Tailfin rack comes in handy there. That's pretty much it on the bike. Yeah, we like to keep it pretty light and lean on the Expedition. You don't need to carry a huge amount. It's just about carrying the essentials that you're going to need each day. The support car carries your sort of duffel bag with your luggage, your toiletries, all that sort of stuff. You just need to be able to carry your snacks, your kit in case it rains, in case it gets cold. That's it, that's the bike. That's what I'm going to be riding on the Expedition. Yeah, any questions, let us know. But yeah, thanks and see you on the next expedition. Cheers.